Gucci, Tony Gibson on the left saying, hey, let's go. And the result of this latest round of strategy, pole sitter Jimmy Johnson is back out on top. And Johnson again got himself a 1.6-second lead over Carl Edwards, with Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Matt Kenseth rounding out your top 5. As for Mark Martin, he restarted the race in 17th spot, and he has moved up to 13th now. But unfortunately for Mark, he is 8.6 seconds behind Jimmy Johnson. And not a pretty picture for numbers on the day as far as positions lost. Now remember, not all of that is just because of the pit crew.
No, absolutely not. That's exactly right. They've had some things going on in the race. Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards, and those guys, they picked up their pace. Mark's fell off the pace just a little bit.
What I mean by that is other guys taking 2 tires.
Yeah, exactly.
That cost him some of those spots on pit road.
I tell you what, Alan, I got my radar up right here, and there's a lot of weather coming from the north, moving south, so we could get some weather here right here.
So how much of a hurry is Carl Edwards in to try and catch Jimmy Johnson? Let's listen in on Carl's radio.
I don't know about this weather side, though, so let's try to get a move on and get that 48 in case something happens. I'm going, buddy. Got you.
So the answer is a big hurry.
Yeah, getting a hurry. Start paying attention to weather. I mean, I see it here. It's coming south, so see if we can skirt it.
All right, Doc, they're racing the lap counter, they're racing the clouds, and they're racing each other, too.
Just like the final laps, Alan, a week ago at Indianapolis, 7 laps to go, and these 2 came out, took the green flag, and Jimmy Johnson was able to hold off Carl Edwards, although Carl said I would have given my kingdom for about 6 or 7 more laps. I believe if I'd had some more laps, I could have caught him. Well, now he's got some laps and got some weather moving in, and he needs to catch him if he can.
The 99 car has been consistently quicker by 1/10 and a half to 2/10 a lap. He's catching Jimmy Johnson, even though Jimmy does have that clean air.
Yeah, but as we've seen here a number of times, faster cars catch the guy in front of them. It takes them a little longer yet to get around them. So it's not just a given that as soon as he gets there, he's going to take the lead.
Another thing that's happening right now is we're getting some cloud cover over a lot of this racetrack, and it's going to change some of these the handling of some of these cars. Jamie?
Well, guys, Mike Massaro was showing Jeff Gordon's monitor in the pit and showing the weather. So I just had asked Chad Knaus, the crew chief for Jimmy Johnson, if he's concerned about the weather. And he goes, a little bit. And he held his fingers together. Not a big deal. Meanwhile, he's on top of the pit box staring at the screen with the weather forecast. So definitely thinking about the weather right now. And, of course, the 48 team is in the right place.
97 laps to go. You know, we got to give a call to the 66 car of Scott Riggs, who, because of an engine change, had to go to the back of the pack. Here's the 9 car, Casey King, going by the 17. That's for 5th position. The 66 car of Scott Riggs had to go to the back of the pack because of an engine change. Started dead last in 43rd position.
1 and 2.
And Riggs has driven this car all the way back up into the top 10 and has a good race car.
A little pressure from Brian Vickers right here. Brian finished 2nd in this race earlier.
Yeah, they've used a little pit strategy with the 66 a couple of different times and gotten him up there, but he seems to have a really good race car. And my son Jason doing the spotting, so apparently doing a pretty good job. As you see, Brian Vickers trying to take that spot away from him now.
Yeah, Vickers trying to rebound from the disappointment a week ago. You know, at Indianapolis, where he finished 42nd. He was one of the contenders we thought would be able to move into toward the top 12 in points, and now he's running out of races. Just 5 to go before the chase begins after today. Battle in the top 10, the 18. Points leader Kyle Busch. Behind him, Greg Biffle, Toyota, and Ford.
You know, there's a big question coming here with this being Kyle Busch and that team's worst race. How are they going to handle all of this? They didn't get any practice yesterday, so we weren't exactly sure what may happen with them, but they've proven, well, the championship team that they are, they've got themselves up in the top 10 now.
We've been seeing this 18 car ahead of Greg Biffle. He's been bottoming that car out with that splitter. We've been seeing that black smoke kind of roll out from under it. Let's see how it does going in turn 1.
We saw 202 miles an hour there for Greg Biffle.
See just a little puff of smoke there coming out of the 18. Nothing really to worry about. I think where we saw most of that was up here in the tunnel turn out of the 18 car. That tunnel turn must have a lot more bumps, or is it just some holes over there in the tunnel?
Yeah, it is pretty bumpy there, and you also get the car loaded up quite a bit. You don't have the banking there, so you get the car rolled over, and it's a good chance that right front's going to drag a little bit there.
9th and 10th, Greg Biffle, who ran very well here in June, ran in the top 5 all day, got a speeding penalty late in that race and had to come back and drove it back to a 15th place finish. Now putting some pressure on Kyle Busch for 9th spot. Jamie?
And Doc, you're exactly right. I talked to Greg Irwin about that penalty, and he said we really felt like we had a top 5 car last time, and unfortunately, pit road, we made a mistake. This time they are reminding their driver every time he enters pit road, watch your speed, because they feel they unloaded with another top 5 car. This is the exact same one they ran here 7 weeks ago, so maybe they're out to get a little redemption here.
Absolutely, Jamie. Greg Biffle needing to get back to victory lane as well. All 3 wide, Sam Hornish in the inside, and Juan Pablo Montoya said, nope, I don't want no part. I've seen this before.
That was a good decision by Juan Pablo Montoya. That could have been real trouble.
19 there, Elliott Sadler. By the way, a bit of a scare this week for the Sadler family, but always also good to report that Elliott's dad, Herman, had a little visit to the hospital, back home doing well, watching back in Emporia, Virginia. Elliott wanted to say hello to Dad and all the family.
Yeah, it's good to know that he's doing okay now, and Elliott's having a pretty decent run. I think he believed he has a really good car for today. As you see him racing Bobby Labonte here. Back up front, you can see Carl Edwards right there, gotten a little bit closer to Jimmy Johnson.
They basically have told Carl it's the old catch him if you can. I'm not sure that he wouldn't be anyway, but there are reports of some weather moving south here. We began with a beautiful day at Pocono. Jimmy Johnson doing what he did at the end of the Indianapolis race a week ago at the Brickyard 400. He led them to the finish line and kissed the bricks for the 2nd time in his career. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Pocono, presented by Cheez-It, is being brought to you by Valvoline, 100 years under the hood, and by McDonald's. When we left you a moment ago, the weather was moving in, and so was Carl Edwards, and cousin Carl just got it done a moment ago as he got to the inside of Jimmy Johnson and took the lead away.
I can tell you this right now, Jimmy Johnson didn't give it to him either. He was trying really hard to hold on to that lead, but this 99 car is just too strong.
Yeah, he almost got him coming out of turn 3, but then he set him up down in 1. His car's been a little bit better. You can see me slap be a little better than Jimmy right here. He's able to get back to the gas and drive his car to the bottom, where Jimmy, you can see, struggling to get back to the throttle right there, and Carl just drove around him. We tried to get Carl to wait till we came back from commercial, but he's
clear.
He's got his own agenda. He wanted to be out front right now for some reason. Jamie?
Well, DJ, I'll tell you what he heard. Rain. That's exactly what his team told him. Rain is 15 minutes away, and he put the hammer down and pushed on Jimmy Johnson. And, guys, of course, you know what that means. We're past the halfway point. If Carl Edwards is leading when the rain comes, you know who's going to victory lane.
Carl Edwards knows about rain. Remember, he was one of the 5 drivers that went to Montreal and made NASCAR history by driving the wet weather tire, the rain tire, in the deluge up at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
I bet there's a lot of drivers up there hope that those rain tires are history. They don't have to run them anymore.
By the way, congratulations to Ron Fellows. It was Fellows, Patrick Carpentier, Marcus Ambrose, Ron Hornaday, and Boris Said, the top 5. Edwards, of the 5 cars, the drivers that did do double duty, he had the best finish. He finished 6th at Montreal yesterday.
If you're watching that, Carl was the one that actually told us the race was called off. They were doing an interview with him, and he said, they just said the race is over. We're headed back to Pocono.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, this could be pretty close. Just about the time the rain's getting here, these guys are going to have to pit, so there's going to be some strategy going on. You know, I'm really liking what Carl Edwards got, though. He's got 4 tires. Jimmy Johnson's got 2 tires. And as we're saying that, here comes A.J. Allmendinger in the pits.
A.J. coming off his career best finish last week at Indianapolis. He finished 10th, finished 12th here back in June. Coming in to get 4 tires and the full tank of fuel. And based on calculations, they pitted on lap 90, Andy. We are at lap 113 now. How far would the green flag stops be away from where we are?
Well, they can maybe go 30, 35 laps on this tank of fuel. if I'm not one of these top 3 or 4 guys and I'm within 15 seconds of the lead, and that's really the key number, I would get in here and get right now and go ahead and get 4 tires and maybe try to get just a little distance on these guys so when they pitted, I'd have some more track position. That's one of the strategy moves you can do here at this racetrack.
That's a great point that Rusty brought up there, that pit stops might happen right around that time.